Hey guys, this is Kevin from JazTime.com. JazTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so that our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you would like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. If you enjoy our videos, we would greatly appreciate it if you would buy a watch from JazTime.com once in a while. Alright, so today we're going to be reviewing the Rolex Deepsea. This is the newly updated Deepsea from the Bezel World Show of 2018. This is the model number 126660. We're going to be going over the dial, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. Alright, so for the dial we have the standard black dial. Of course, for the Deepsea, it's similar to the the recently discontinued model where you can get the James Cameron edition, which was a special edition that had a blue to black gradient dial and was to commemorate the Deepsea Challenge. However, this is just the standard, just regular plain Deepsea. So we have the beautiful black dial with the maxi style hour markers, which are the circular hour markers with the index 6, 9 and triangular 12 o'clock position. 12 o'clock position hour marker. They're all luminous, meaning that they glow in the dark with a highly legible chrome blue, long-lasting blue chroma light display, meaning it will glow in the dark for up to 8 hours. And this is that's of course very useful as this is a diver's watch, a professional's diver's watch. So being underwater, being able to see those hour markers underwater as well will help. Of course, we have the standard Mercedes hands for the hour hand, minute hand, luminous as well. All the hour markers, minutes, seconds, and hands are all fashioned in 18 karat white gold to prevent any tarnishing. So, as I mentioned, this is an updated model. So what exactly was updated? Well, for the face of the dial, there's been just very minor updates to it. So if you look at the 6 o'clock position, you'll see this Swiss made in small text right underneath that 6 o'clock position index marker. And specifically for that, they've just added the little Rolex crown logo in between the Swiss made. It didn't used to have the little crown logo. The other adjustment they've made is that the length of the minute and the seconds hand have been adjusted for 1 millimeter length longer to match with the outer indices, and it will line up more perfectly now. You can see the seconds hand as it moves around. You can kind of see that it matches very nicely with each little indence as it passes through. Before it was a little bit shorter and didn't quite match. The last update they've done to the face of the dial is that for the original gas escape valve, the ring lock system, that's part of the Deepsea casing, they've actually updated the text on it, or rather the font, to match the Deepsea font, the Deepsea Sea Dweller font. It used to be this sort of smaller font like the superlative chronometer. It used to be like that, but they've updated to the Sea Dweller Deepsea name font. But besides that, I forgot to mention the date window, of course, at the 3 o'clock position for the sapphire crystal. It's actually a thicker sapphire crystal. It's a 5.5 millimeter thick sapphire crystal that's scratch resistant. Specifically, there is no Cyclops lens on top of that sapphire crystal as with typical sports pieces, mainly because of the thickness of the sapphire crystal already magnifies the data a bit. So let's go ahead and move on to the bezel now. So the bezel is a unidirectional rotatable 60-minute graduated scratch resistant Cerachrome insert in ceramic with the numerals and indices coated in a platinum. Cerachrome being a fancy way of just really Rolex saying it's a ceramic bezel watch. So beautiful black ceramic bezel, highly scratch resistant, and as you can see, very shiny and reflective. But specifically the unidirectional portion of the bezel, that means it only changes one direction. As you can see, I can't change it back to the right. I can just simply change it counterclockwise to the left. And that's also used for diving as well. For divers, they could track their oxygen tank levels. So you just move the peridot to the minute hand, and then you can track the elapsed time. So you can see, 10 minutes or 20 minutes have passed. Each little fat indices is 5 minute increments of 5, 15, 25. But even if you're not a professional diver and you still are looking to use still wanting to wear the deep sea, you can just use it for everyday activities like running a mile. You can track how fast you run a mile, or even just playing along and seeing how long a business meeting is taking. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the case now. So for the case, we got a 44 millimeter case size. So my index finger to my thumb here, that's 44 millimeters in diameter. The case is made out of 904L steel, which is Rolex's in-house made steel, which has additional corrosion resistance and a nicer shine to it overall. And it's also nicely satin finished, as you can see, that nice satin finish, nice brush steel look overall. There's actually been an update to this portion to the case as well. So the case lugs, the lugs are these little two parts that squeeze in that bracelet there, top and bottom. They've actually adjusted the lugs to be a little bit smaller, specifically 1 millimeter smaller on each side, so they can adjust the initial links and the following links for the middle of the Oyster bracelet to be 1 millimeter wider. So overall, as I pull this back a little more, you can see that the tapering looks much nicer, much cleaner now, and the watch, even though it's a 44 and very large, you can see it kind of flow into the bracelet much more nicely now. But besides that, we still have the deep sea size, the side profile. Here it is, very large profile, probably the largest in the Rolex line, being at 17.7 millimeters thick. This won't fit under your suit cuffs or chest cuffs, so this will be a more bold look on your wrist, and you'll be definitely able to be seeing that. Alright, let me show you the other side of the case as well. You can see nice high polish even on the crown protector as well. Rolex crown logo on the crown itself. The crown is a screw down triple waterproofing system that simply unwinds counterclockwise as shown. This is the standard position of the crown, in which you can wind the watch. 15 to 20 winds is all you need to get the watch started once more. Simply pulling out the crown to the next position will allow you to adjust the date instantaneously. Keep your eye out on the 33 o'clock position. You can see how easy it is to change the date. And then pulling the crown out to the final position will stop the seconds hand. You can see a seconds hand there. And stop. And that allows for precise time settings, such as to an atomic clock online. You can set it down to the exact seconds for precise time setting. And of course, you can set the time bidirectionally as well. Pressing the crown back in will start that seconds hand once more. And always make sure to screw the crown nice in and tight against the case, as you want to keep the crown nice and protected between the crown protectors. And for the water resistance of the watch, being a deep sea, the most professional diver's watch, we're looking at the water resistance of 3,900 meters, so 3,900 meters or 12,800 feet of water resistance. One thing I forgot to mention is the helium escape valve. So in paired, you can see how it says that original gas escape valve. It's actually located here with this little circle indentation on the side of the case. And basically what that is as divers go deep sea diving, they have to come back up in a depressurization chamber, and that chamber has a mixture of gases, specifically the helium, that can actually go into the case of the watch and pop the crystal out from due to the pressure built up in the watch. When the helium escape valve reaches a certain bar pressure, this actually releases the helium gas out, therefore protecting the watch from having the crystal damaged by having it popped out from the pressure. All right, so moving on, I'm going to move on to the bracelet now. Once again, very beautiful oyster style bracelet, nice satin finish throughout. You can see that the middle links are a little bit larger than the outer links now. And that is just to make the whole overall flow from the case to the bracelet much nicer. You can see from the clasp, safety folding oyster lock, nice satin finish throughout, and the other side of the bracelet as well. Nice satin finish, great tapering from the first three links for a nicer fit and overall look on the wrist. Moving on to the clasp, like I said, this is safety folding oyster lock. That's the safety is this little hinge here that sits on top of the folding oyster that opens up as so. Has the nice Rolex name embossed onto the high polished clasp plate there. For the clasp itself, there's actually a few neat features for the clasp. For underneath the clasp, we have the glide lock extension system. You can see these little rivets underneath the clasp, and that actually allows for 2 millimeter increment adjustments for up to a total increment adjustment of 20 millimeters. and that can be accessed by simply pulling the bracelet out at a 45-degree angle, and at the top of the clasp you just pull on this little middle portion, and you can see the little riveted edges pulled off, and you'll be able to adjust forward or inward. Okay, and the additional feature is that you can see these little flat links here. This is actually for the diver's portion, so if you're putting on a wetsuit, you can actually just pop out, flip out these links to adjust for a little bit more length for the wetsuit adjustment. So pretty nice overall. You wouldn't have to take this watch to a jeweler to have them adjust the links just to have the watch fit on your wrist perfectly. You can just do all those micro adjustments and it'll fit great. The standard bracelet size is usually 7.5 inches for Rolex watches for male sports pieces. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the case now, or rather the movement. So here's the case back, very beautiful case backing with the Sea Dweller Deepsea name on it, the Rolex crown logo, and the water resistance, as I stated before, that 12,800 feet or 3,900 meters. The movement has been updated as well from the previous model. The previous model used to run the 3135 movement, which was a tried and tested movement by Rolex for beyond 10 years. They've tested that movement, but now they finally decided to update into the 3235 movement, in which it is still a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement, in-house made by Rolex. It has the Swiss specs of the -2 +2 seconds a day. That's where it gets a superlative codified meter, officially certified at the 6 o'clock position on the front of the dial. But they actually done extensive testing beyond what they've done for the 3135. Before, on the 3135, they used to just test the movement outside of the casing of the watch to get it within those Swiss specs of the -2 +2 seconds a day. But now they've actually tested it outside and also inside the watch as well. So they put the movement in the watch and made sure that the movement in the watch can reach those Swiss specs of the -2 +2 seconds a day. So absolutely wonderful, wonderful tune-up from the previous predecessor, but also adding a few more other things as well. Before, we used to have the industry standard shock absorbers, which were the KIF shock absorbers. Now we have Rolex's in-house made high-performance Paraflex shock absorbers, which absorb up to 50% more shocks than the previous shock absorbers, as I mentioned. The escapement has been changed too. The escapement is now a chronology escapement, which is Rolex's in-house made escapement. They're trying to in-house make everything now. The escapement wheel is skeletonized to prevent inertia, so it keeps that precise time setting, but also made out of a nickel phosphorus that pairs with the previous oscillator, which was a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, and that adds to the resistance against magnetism for the watch, as magnetism can severely change the precision of the watch of timekeeping. But because they've added that chronology escapement, we now have a larger power reserve for the watch. The previous movement, the 3135, had a power reserve of 48 hours, but now we have a power reserve of 70 hours, meaning you could put this watch down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Sunday or no, Monday afternoon, it'll be keeping time just fine. Besides that, the movement is still the same in terms of functions. We still have the instantaneous changing of the days, stopping the seconds hand, and just general functions of the seconds, minute, and hour hand as well. All right, let me go ahead and show you this watch on my wrist now. So folding oyster, safety down. As you can see, large clasp, beautiful tapering of that oyster bracelet. Here's the front facing of the watch. Absolutely beautiful watch, just very standard Rolex sports pieces, but very bold, very also you can feel the weight of that Deepsea on your wrist. You can see that profile as I move it over to the side as well. You can see it sits very high off the wrist as well. But overall, very beautiful watch. So if you're interested in this watch or any other watch for the lowest possible price, check out our website at JazTime.com. We have the lowest price is guaranteed. We offer a 1-year warranty. And if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at JazTime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.